Now that we've edited the details for the capital raise, we're going to now go ahead and edit the deal room settings. This is where the investor is going to find much of their information for the property of the capital raise. Here we have on the left-hand side, summary, commitment flows, access, photos, and attachments for the deal room. First, we're going to start with the summary section, and then we'll make our way down the list. For the summary section, here we can see we can upload a showcase photo, an investment blurb, an investment summary, key information, and then any external links that we'd like to share with the investor. What I'm going to do right now is take a moment to fill in all of this information in the summary section, and then we'll come back together and we'll review what's been inputted. I'll see you again soon. And we're back. So you can see that I've uploaded my showcase photo, which you can do so by clicking choose file and then selecting the photo you'd like to upload. Then I've got my investment blurb that I put in here, nothing too long, something quick. And then I've got my investment summary here. So I have a little bit about the acquisition. I've inserted a video here, and I've done so by simply clicking the video button right here and then pasting in the YouTube link. And then below I've got some deal points, the business plan, and a table I inserted just by clicking this table button and selecting how big I like the table to be. And then I filled in the information, and then I have a little bit more about the property right here. Below that, I have the key information. So what is the target investor IRR, the equity multiple, and a little bit more about the property, such as the acquisition cost and closing date. And then I've got external resources, which I have as schedule a call. So just my link there to schedule a call with my team or myself. And let's take a look at how this looks in the deal room. So we can go over here to the left side, click preview deal room. And then right here, we can see what it looks like so far. We've got the showcase photo. Here's that blurb. And here's the investment summary that details that we put in the video, the deal points, the business plan, the table, and the property. And then that key information right here highlighted on the right side. Easy for your investors to see and everyone to understand what is going on with this property. Just the key information. IRR, equity multiple, how much is it going to cost, what's the closing date, what type of property it's going to be. So any information you'll like to highlight for your investors so it could be quickly viewable for them when they visit your deal room, you could do that with the key information section. What we're going to do now is go into the commitment flow. Here in the commitment flow, we have 4 sections: the reservation form, investor accreditation, document sequence, and funding options. So we're going to go through every section beginning with the reservation form. So this is pretty much where you can paste in your investor disclaimer that you may have received from your attorney. I have it saved here, so I'm just going to paste that right in. So we have our overview, disclosures, and disclaimer, indications of interest, and confidentiality right here. So I'm going to click save right there. Perfect. So then once that's completed, it does turn blue. And then investor accreditation. I'm going to keep this as not required for the purposes of this tutorial, but you can select required or limited access. And if you do select required, we do have a third-party verification with our partner who is able to provide verification for any of your investors if they don't already have a letter from their CPA, for instance. So I'm going to click not required and click save. Awesome. And then we're going to go into the document sequence. So the document sequence is what documents does the investor need to sign in order to move forward with their funding option. So to do that, there's a few ways we can do this. One, we can click add docs and then create a new document, or we can attach a document and choose a template. So there's none here at the moment. They are part of this section right here, documents. And that's the way that we're actually going to go through it for this tutorial. So I'm going to head over to documents right here. And we can see we have no current templates. So I'm going to click new e-signature template. And I'm going to say subscription agreement. And I'm actually going to say individual. What I'm going to share with you here is some best practices for using the e-signature templates. at InvestNext, we suggest a breakdown of individual, joint, LLCs or corporations, and then IRAs. So each one should have its own document so that when an individual or an investor selects how they're going to invest into the project, they select either individual, if it's a company or joint tenant or IRA, whatever the case may be. When we put it into the deal room, we can route them to that specific document. So it's not just they're presented with one document and all the fields are there and they have to select which fields to fill out. By having a document for individuals, joints, LLCs, and then IRAs as a general breakdown, we are able to streamline the process. So this makes it better for the investor, so they don't accidentally fill out, the individual section, but they're actually investing as a LLC. Create some back and forth with the sponsor and the investor to reset documents and ask if they could redo the signatures, etc. So these are some best practices I'm going to share here. And for this one, I'm going to do individual. I'm going to go ahead and choose my file. And it's just going to be the investor is the signer for this one. And I'm going to say require sponsor counter signature and then create the template. Once we create the template, we're going to get put into here our hello sign. So on the left side, we can see the signers. And I'm actually just going to put investor right here. And that we can see is a required field. And then I'm just going to put the sponsor right here, for instance. And you can adjust the sizing and everything. And then we're going to click continue. Awesome. So I see the subscription agreement here for the individual now. And I'm going to go ahead and add the other one. So this one, I'm going to say subscription agreement is for joint tenants. And we are going to put spouse and add that. And then we can say require sponsor counter signature. Whether you want to check it or not, I'm going to leave it unchecked for this one. I'm going to use the same document just for the purposes of this tutorial. So again, we get back to this section where we can put in the fields. But here, this time, you'll see that that sponsors option is not here because I did not select counter signature. So it's simply just going to be the investor and the spouse that are going to need to sign. And I have, since this is a joint, I do have this as a required field. You could click it as uncheck if it's not a required field. But since this is a joint document, I do have it as a required field. So we're going to click continue. Awesome. So we have joint, individual, and I'm going to go ahead and set up the LLC one and the IRA one. All right, and we're back. So you can see I have all four of my breakdown for the subscription agreement right here. And now we're going to go back to the fundraising room. So click on fundraising, capital raises, and then back to the deal room here. So in the commitment flow now, for the document sequence, if we click add docs and attach document, we can actually choose the template here. So I'm going to choose the individual one first and then investor types. So this is only chosen when you're presented the document to sign when committing on the portal. If a blank entity, if you leave this blank, then all entities will be selected. So no matter if they're an individual, joint, LLC, whatever the case may be, they would all be presented with the same document. For this purpose, since we've streamlined this, I'm actually just going to select individual for this one. And I'm going to attach that document. And then I'm going to do the same for the next one. I'm going to do joint, and I'm going to say joint tenants with the rights of survivorship. And then I'm going to do the next one for corporations, and I'm actually going to select LLC, LLC, LP, LLP, LLLP, S Corp, C Corp, and that should be all of them. Perfect. And attach the document. And then we're going to do the last one, which is the IRAs, which we can select right there. And then we got trusts, pension plan, and IRA. So right here, we have the breakdown for the 4 subscription agreements and the entities for each respective agreement: individual with individual, joint with joint, corporations with the corporations options, and IRA with the IRA options. So right here, when an investor goes through and selects how they're going to invest into your capital raise, they would be prompted with only one of these documents, whichever way they invest, so that they're not presented again with all of the information for each one of these entities. They're only required to fill out exactly what they need to as either an individual, joint, corporation, or IRA. We've noticed this helps streamline the entire process for both the sponsor and the investor. So that's all good there. And then we have funding options. So if you would like to get ACH sent to you directly through the portal, all you have to do is complete the Secure ACH InvestNext payment setup. I do have a tutorial for that, so you can check that out. And that would allow your investors to fund directly through the portal, and it'll hit your bank account. And then you can put in wire options, check instructions, and have some custom messaging. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just enable some wire options right here. So I'm just going to say to ABC Townhomes, and just so something's filled out there. Awesome. So we can see that blue is completed. And then we're going to move along here to access. So access here is what audience should have it. Currently, I have it as all portal users. So all registered portal users will have access to this deal room. That's what I'm going to keep it as. And then there's an option for select audience. So only portal users in a selected contact filter will have access to this deal room. If we were to select this and check, we currently have only ABC Townhomes, because the system automatically creates a filter for any project. So since the project does live on the main page, this filter is created, but there's nobody in the project just yet. Anytime you see this filter option, you can either create your own contact filter, which we have a help article on how to do that, such as like family and friends. If you only wanted your family and friends to see this deal room because you have 1,000 investors, but you only really need, let's say, 20 for the capital raise, you may want to select who those 20 individuals are and then label them as family and friends, and then you can select them as an audience. We also have the option for unregistered access. So that means, can I allow unregistered investors to see the offering without them having to register for my portal? So I can check this off and say yes. Awesome. And I'm going to keep this as all portal users. And then we're going to go to photos, and I have some photos that I will like to upload. So let's just go click image, and then I will select the photos. Done. And then the photos are shown right here, and we could rearrange them as well by clicking these arrows, either up or down. We can actually add a caption as well. So I could say kitchen. I could say living room view 1. And then I can say living room view number 2. Awesome. So that's there. And then attachments. So here I can upload any document I'd like the investor to have. So I'm simply going to just upload investor deck right here. Presentation. Awesome. So that's in there. And now if we go through this investor deal room checklist, I can go through, preview the deal room. So let's first, we filled in the summary, we added some photos, we added some attachments. And now if we go to preview the deal room, let's take a look at what it looks like. We've got all the information we've seen before, but now we also have these photos right here. So we can see that kitchen overlay right here. We've got a living room view and another living room view. And then all the information that we filled out in the summary earlier. And then we also have the documents that is right here. So like that investor presentation. So that's what the deal room looks like now. It's all set up. We've previewed it. Everything looks good. And now we go back to this view. So we are back in the capital raise overview. So now we're ready to set the capital raise right here to active. So if we click set, previously it was in draft. Upcoming means that we're just collecting soft commitments, but there's no paperwork involved. So it's really to just gauge an idea of how much you can raise from your potential investors for a specific deal. Active is what we're going to set it as. That means that we're collecting commitments, we are signing documents, and the investor can also fund. So I just checked this off to say all pertinent documents have been uploaded and the raise is ready to receive commitments. So let's update the status. And we can see here, it is now active. The deal room is live. And what you also want to make sure is that your investor portal is live. If not, when you click this link, we're going to receive an error. So if I click this link right now, we are going to receive that 404 error. So if we go to settings, investor portal, access, and investor portal enabled. So now it's been enabled. And I'm also going to say enable self-registration and enable form submission auto approval. So that means that I can now self-register for the portal. My investors can do so, and they will automatically be approved. So let's click Save Changes. Awesome. So that is there. And we don't have enable form submissions checked up. We should check this off because you know what? There's some information that I would like to collect from my investors when they sign up for the portal. So I'm going to say enable form submissions, save. And I'm going to go over here in communications. And right here, we have a tab called forms. And I'm going to say actions, edit form. And I'm going to fill this out. So I want the first name, the last name, email, and now we want to add in birthday. So I'll just click birthday. And by clicking this edit functionality right here, I can actually say required. And I'm going to say birthday. Fill out, please, for a nice surprise. Update. And then I would also like their phone number just in case I need to call them at any time. So I'm going to click edit and say required. And I can actually drag this. So it goes right below the email address. Soft commitment. This is if it's part of the deal room. So these are all required. We can see with the red asterisk right there. So I have first name, last name, email, phone number, soft commitment, and birthday. I'm going to keep it as that. One other one, you know what I would like to add is a custom field for a text string. And I would just like to say, how did you hear about us? Question mark. Save. And this one I'm going to leave as optional. So then sometimes people just fill out not applicable, but I'll leave this as optional. And if they found out through a friend or one of our other investors, that would be great for us to know. So I'm going to click Save Changes. Awesome. So that's all been completed now. So now when I preview our portal, if I click Settings, Investor Portal, and Preview Portal, we are going to see exactly what this looks like. So we have a new offering right here. Remember, we did the welcome message in one of the earlier tutorials, so that is right here. And there's no contributions just yet. but we're also just previewing the portal. So if I were to click on learn more here for this new offering, I'd be able to see that deal room again. So everything looks good, and I'm ready to invite my investors and let them know. So let's take a look at my domain. That's what we're going to do in the next video. So what I'm going to do is actually walk you through in the next video how it looks to your investor and how they're actually going to subscribe to that investment that we just displayed as an offering. So I'll see you in the next tutorial.